Ladies and gentlemen, we have an existential crisis in America today. We have an occupying force that is operating outside the confines of the Constitution. Our government is taking our own resources and using them against us in every way imaginable. And it's been happening for a while. Lately, a new threat has arisen that has shaken our communities. This force is operating outside the confines of the law and using wartime tactics to terrorize citizens. They are assaulting people unprovoked, while carrying live ammunition military arms in urban domestic situations against people exercising their protected rights. This is unacceptable in the United States of America and poses a real threat to the rule of law and American liberties as well as basic humanitarian rights. There are people being detained in overcrowded gulag-style camps of animal pens with no access to basic hygiene, drinking water, toilets, beds, blankets, and food. Every humanitarian rights law is being broken in these facilities. American citizens are not exempt from being taken to these same facilities, even without committing any crimes. We will not go into the humiliation ritual, strip searches, abuses, and even rapes and deaths that have taken place in them. This outright abuse of power cannot be taken lightly. Everyone must speak up for our basic human rights, or else we will have none. You may think this doesn't affect you, when it will, because once a standard is accepted, it becomes the norm. And the norm in this case is lawlessness, and a system that is reminiscent of 1939 Germany era. Schindler's List is happening right here in America, right now, and too many people are still blind to see the pattern. We cannot sustain a civilized society in an Orwellian world where there are two sets of rules for different classes of loyalties to a party. Our rights protected by the Constitution are unalienable, meaning that the government does not have the authority to deprive you of them. Unalienable rights are a cornerstone of American democracy, reflecting the belief that certain rights are inherent to all individuals and must be protected from infringement by the government. However, our founding fathers knew that government always gets out of control, and they put other protections in the Constitution to deal with government overreach. This is where you come in. You are needed to add to the voices of Americans who value the American way of life and the freedoms we enjoy. We cannot accept masked lawless thugs terrorizing our streets and our children and killing civilians. You must put pressure on your elected representatives in all local, state, and federal government to do the right thing and uphold the Constitution and the rule of law. Their job is to protect our rights, not violate them. They need to be overwhelmingly reminded of that principle and the purpose of their job, as well as put pressure on your local law enforcement and courts to take action to uphold the law and protect our rights. We would suggest that all people who have been assaulted or detained by ICE or Border Patrol to file lawsuits against unlawful detainment and arrest and seek damages. For those who are able, file assault charges with your local police as well. We make these suggestions in order to still try and find a peaceful solution to our crisis. We must use the tools of law to our advantage before all decorum collapses. The people who are leading this assault on the people need to be removed from their positions immediately. We cannot tolerate people in leadership positions that blatantly lie to the public and fabricate stories to justify their lawlessness and brutality towards other human beings in any way, shape, or form. If we cannot get the lawmakers and courts and real law enforcement to take action to stop this atrocity happening to our nation, we are doomed to spiral down a hole we may not climb back out of. Our enemies outside the gates await our self-destruction. That is why we here are calling ICE a national security threat. Their disruption of peace is tearing apart families and communities and causing division among the ranks of authority and due process, which is rendering our system vulnerable to an unprecedented breakdown in civility.
We must stand up now and speak out and take action and be heard and seen to reject this totalitarianism in America. Contact your representatives today. If we are to have a chance at securing a sustainable future for our children and their liberty, we must act.